All right, you guys, I'm going live for this because I'm really curious to see what happens. So obviously, everyone knows the situation by now, right? Joe Biden dropped out on Sunday, but he's going to stay in the White House. And then there was speculation over, is the guy even alive? Where is Joe Biden? Well, apparently he is set to address the nation tonight. And we're really just live because I'm curious to see what he's going to say. Why is he going to, what excuse is he going to give for dropping out? Because obviously everyone knows the real reason, but he said, I'm in perfect physical condition, my health is fine. So then if that's the case, then why did he drop out? And then on top of that, is he gonna be staying as the president? A lot of people are expecting, they're saying Biden does not look good. Biden's gonna just drop out of the presidency as well, right? He's gonna resign there. So we're just gonna go live and find out what happens. Who knows? Maybe it's a giant nothing burger. He's just like, folks, you got to get behind my good friend Kamala Harris. America's an idea. America's an idea, right? So maybe it's just that, or maybe there actually is a big announcement. I don't know. Either way, this will be the first major public statement by Biden since catching COVID as well as dropping out. In fact, I don't think Biden has made any official public statement. You look at what happened on Sunday. He announced he was dropping out on Twitter, and a lot of people are suspicious because they were saying, well, did he even write this? Did a staffer just drop out for him and he woke up and the paperwork was already filed and he was like, what? I didn't drop out. Honestly, who knows? The rumor I heard, and I believe is probably true, is the reason that Biden was forced to leave the race is that the Democrats were threatening to use the 25th Amendment against him if he didn't drop out. So, I don't know. I mean, a lot that says a lot of things. Obviously, there was definitely a coup that went on there. And, that's not exactly Joe Biden just deciding on his own accord that he was going to leave the race. But I don't know. I'm just very curious to find out what exactly happens. This is expected to begin at exactly 8 p.m. So we got about 2 minutes, folks. If you enjoy the stream, if you enjoy all of our content, be sure to hit the like button. Let's see how many likes we're at. Let's get the stream to 100 likes. Pretty decent viewership pretty here in the early minutes. And of course, feel free to super chat, folks, if you do want to, support the show and all that. So, all right. That said, we are here awaiting a lot of stuff going on right now. Today, Benjamin Netanyahu, the PM of Israel, actually addressed Congress, and DC's on fire almost. Okay, so there's absolutely chaotic situation. You have the Palestine protesters defacing monuments. They were burning an American flag. In the city of San Francisco, they straight up went on top of, I believe it was City Hall or it was Central Park Station or something like that. You'll see the video. They climbed on top, they pulled the American flag down, and they put a Palestine flag up. So let it just be said that just days after Kamala Harris is now made into the Democrat nominee, this is what's going on in the country. Okay, she is the candidate of chaos. She is an anarcho tyrant in many ways. She supports crime. She bailed out BLM rioters in 2020, so let's not forget that. The very people who were burning down our country 4 years ago, Kamala Harris supported. She's yet to condemn currently what's gone on in DC with the literal riots and defacing of national American monuments and defacing of the American flag. So let it be said, that is exactly who Kamala Harris stands with, and that is what the whole country is going to look like under her watch. And, let's not forget that or downplay that. So a lot of stuff going on. Donald Trump is also currently speaking at his rally in North Carolina, which I believe is wrapping up just about now. But we're mainly here because we're waiting to see what happens. Okay, what's Joe Biden gonna say? It'd be awesome. I know it's not gonna happen. It'd be awesome. Dark Brandon. Okay, Dark Brandon. He suddenly changes his mind. He says, you know what? Screw them. Screw Kamala. Joe Biden. Joe Biden. Am getting back into the race. Okay, I know it's not gonna happen. All right, it's not very realistic. But listen. Okay, listen, Mr. President. All right. This is an appeal from, I think people who currently, when you really think about it, we have a mutual enemy, right? The regime tried to take out Donald Trump, as we know, but now, and that can actually be said, the regime tried to take Joe Biden out on top of that, okay? Because, right now, they're kind of like both enemies of the regime. So listen, my plea to you, President Biden, is this, okay? You know how you can get your revenge on these people? Because that's what they did. They robbed you of your presidency. They robbed you of your campaign. Do not reward them back, okay? You have a unique chance behind the scenes if you don't want to get back in the race. Behind the scenes, you have a unique chance to sabotage the Kamala Harris campaign, okay? So that's my plea, okay, to Joe Biden. Listen. If you're alive, if you can hear us, if you can understand the words we are saying, sabotage, okay? Sabotage the Harris campaign. All right? Because that's what they did to you. Remember what they did. All right? Mr. President. Okay. But yeah, folks, it's certainly going to be interesting to see what Joe Biden says or does tonight. You know, the problem with that theory, the problem with the whole idea that Biden can somehow sabotage Kamala is to do that, he would have to be like cognitively functioning. You know, he'd have to think about that. I don't think it's really that right now. I think it's really a matter of he is just a puppet. Okay. He doesn't know what's going on. Like he literally, it's not a joke, right? He literally does not have the mental, here we go. All right. Joe Biden.
My fellow Americans.
What's with his eyes?
I'm speaking tonight from behind the resolute desk in the Oval Office. In this sacred space,
hold on. There we go.
I'm surrounded by portraits of extraordinary American presidents. Thomas Jefferson wrote the immortal words that guide this nation. George Washington, who showed us presidents are not kings. Abraham Lincoln, who implored us to reject malice. Franklin Roosevelt, who inspired us to reject fear. I revere this office, but I love my country more. It's been the honor of my life to serve as your president. But in the defense of democracy, which is at stake, I think it's more important than any title. I draw strength and I find joy in working for the American people.
Democracy, they voted for you.
The sacred task of perfecting our union is not about me. It's about you, your families, your futures. It's about we, the people. We can never forget that. And I never have. I've made it clear that I believe America is at an inflection point. One of those rare moments in history when the decisions we make now will determine our fate of our nation and the world for decades to come. America's going to have to choose between moving forward or backward, between hope and hate.
This literally looks like AI. Can I just say that? Okay, I'm not saying it is, but like, look at it.
Between unity and division. We have to decide, do we still believe in honesty, decency, respect, freedom, justice, and democracy?
So I'm endorsing Trump.
In this moment, we can see those we disagree with not as enemies, but as fellow Americans.
Oh my gosh.
Does character in public life still matter? I believe I know the answer to these questions because I know you, the American people. And I know this, we are a great nation because we are good people.
Okay.
When you elected me to this office, I promise to always level with you, to tell you the truth. And the truth, the sacred cause of this country is larger than any one of us. And those of us who cherish that cause cherish it so much. A cause of American democracy itself. We must unite to protect it. You know, in recent weeks, it's become clear to me that I need to unite my party in this critical endeavor. I believe my record as president, my leadership in the world, my vision for America's future, all merited a second term. But nothing can come in the way of saving our democracy.
They cooled you. That's not democracy.
So I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation. That's the best way to unite our nation. You know, there is a time and a place for long years of experience in public life. But there's also a time and a place for new voices, fresh voices, yes, younger voices. And that time and place is now. Over the next 6 months, I'll be focused on doing my job as president. That means I'll continue to lower costs for hardworking families, grow our economy. I'll keep defending our personal freedoms and our civil rights, from the right to vote to the right to choose. I'll keep calling out hate and extremism. Make it clear there is no place in America for political violence or any violence ever, period. I'm going to keep speaking out to protect our kids from gun violence, our planet from climate crisis that is the existential threat. And I will keep fighting for my cancer moonshot so we can end cancer as we know it, because we can do it. And I'm going to call for Supreme Court reform because this is critical to our democracy, Supreme Court reform. You know, I will keep working to ensure America remains strong and secure and the leader of the free world. I'm the first president in this century to report to the American people that the United States is not at war anywhere in the world. We'll keep rallying a coalition of proud nations to stop Putin from taking over Ukraine.
You just said
doing more damage. We'll keep NATO stronger, and I'll make it more powerful and more united than any time in all of our history. I'll keep doing the same for our allies in the Pacific. You know, when I came to office, the conventional wisdom was that China would inevitably surpass the United States. That's not the case anymore.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm going to keep working to end the war in Gaza, bring home all the hostages, and bring peace and security to the Middle East and end this war. We're also working around the clock to bring home Americans being unjustly...
Chat, he's not even looking at the camera. Like, do you see... Like, usually they have the teleprompter on the camera, so it looks like you're looking at the camera. He's like cue... Does he have cue cards? What is going on here?
All around the world. You know, we've come so far since my inauguration. On that day, I told you, as I stood in that winter, we stood in a winter of peril and a winter of possibilities. Peril and possibilities. We were in the grip of the worst pandemic in the century. The worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. The worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. But we came together as Americans, and we got through it. We emerged stronger, more prosperous, and more secure. Today, we have the strongest economy in the world, creating nearly 16 million new jobs, a record. Wages are up. Inflation continues to come down. The racial wealth gap is the lowest it's been in 20 years.
It's because everyone's poor,
rebuilding
by the
our
way.
entire nation, urban, suburban, rural, and tribal communities. Manufacturing has come back to America. We're leading the world again in chips and science and innovation. We finally beat Big Pharma after all these years to lower the cost of prescription drugs for seniors. And I'm going to keep fighting to make sure we lower the cost for everyone, not just seniors.
If you're really doing all this, which you're not, but if you are, then why are you dropping out? Huh? If you're doing such a great job, then why don't you stay in as the president?
More people have health care today in America than ever before.
So stupid.
And I signed one of the most significant laws helping millions of veterans and their families who are exposed to toxic materials. You know, most significant climate law ever in the history of the world.
Did Kamala write this?
The first major gun safety law in 30 years. And today, the violent crime rate is at a 50-year low. We're also securing our border. Border crossings are lower today than when the previous administration left office. I've kept my commitment to appoint the first black woman to the Supreme Court of the United States of America. I also kept my commitment to have an administration that looks like America and be a president for all Americans. That's what I've done. I ran for president 4 years ago because I believed and still do that the soul of America was at stake. The very nature of who we are was at stake. And that's still the case. America's an idea. An idea stronger than any army, bigger than any ocean, more powerful than any dictator or tyrant. It's the most powerful idea in the history of the world. That idea is that we hold these truths to be self-evident. We're all created equal. Endowed by our Creator, certain
We're down here,
rights,
Joe, yes.
life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. We've never fully lived up to it, to this sacred idea, but we've never walked away from it either. And I do not believe the American people will walk away from it now. just a few months, the American people will choose the course of America's future. I made my choice. I've made my views known.
You didn't make the choice, by the way.
I would like to thank our great Vice President Kamala Harris. She's experienced, she's tough, she's capable. She's been an incredible partner to me and a leader for our country.
Boo!
Now the choice is up to you, the American people. When you make that choice, remember the words of Benjamin Franklin hanging on my wall here in the Oval Office.
That is a window. Chat. That is a... He's pointing to... Oh my gosh. Oh, bro. That's a window, Joe. Look at it. What are you talking about?
Alongside the busts of Dr. King and Rosa Parks and Cesar Chavez. When Ben Franklin was asked, as he emerged from the convention going on, whether the founders have given America a monarchy or republic, Franklin's response was a republic, if you can keep it. A republic, if you can keep it. Whether we keep our republic is now in your hands. My fellow Americans, it's been the privilege of my life to serve this nation for over 50 years. Nowhere else on earth could a kid with a stutter, from modest beginnings in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Claymont, Delaware, one day sit behind the resolute desk in the Oval Office as President of the United States. But here I am. That's what's so special about America. We're a nation of promise and possibilities, of dreamers and doers, of ordinary Americans doing extraordinary things. I've given my heart and my soul to our nation, like so many others. I've been blessed a million times in return with the love and support of the American people. I hope you have some idea how grateful I am to all of you. The great thing about America is here, kings and dictators do not rule, the people do. History is in your hands. The power is in your hands. The idea of America lies in your hands. We just have to keep faith, keep the faith, and remember who we are. We're the United States of America, and there's simply nothing beyond our capacity when we do it together. So let's act together, preserve our democracy. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you.
What was that? Okay, that was just utterly painful. This guy, I mean, I have serious concerns for Joe Biden's health. Of course, you know, you have to beg the massive question here. If he's doing fine, if he really is fit to serve the country, why can't he run? You know, it's contradictory, whatever. But someone said that it could be on the other wall. Well, yes, I know, but he's pointing behind him. Okay, like that's what I'm making fun of. I'm not saying the quote's not on his wall. It probably is. I'm saying that he's pointing like behind him. This is literally a curtain in a window. Okay, so it is not on that wall. That's number one. Number two, someone said, I'm playing off a different camera angle. Maybe that's true. Maybe there's a teleprompter he's looking at here. But I'm streaming, just to be clear, I'm streaming off of the White House YouTube channel. So I don't know why they would have the actual official White House feed be a different one and he's reading off the TV camera. So I don't know. That just sounds like cope. Like neither of those things are really good excuses. But yeah, there was Joe Biden apparently not resigning. He really talked like he was. I don't know what that was, but he sounded like he was resigning. He's mainly talking about himself. A little bit of an endorsement of Kamala Harris, but not a whole lot, which is interesting. I think deep down Biden, if he can hear us, okay, if he can hear us in there, he's pretty scorned. He's pretty angry that they took him out of the race. And so, like I said, my hope is that at the very least, Biden does not offer his resources to help, right? Biden does not contribute at all to helping out Kamala Harris. And even better, maybe there's a little bit of sabotage, right? Biden plays spoiler. Imagine that. Imagine the dichotomy of American politics it would be. You have Trump versus Kamala, and then at the very end, the most unlikely of allies, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Biden comes out like WWE and helps Trump win the election. But no, like in all seriousness, I don't know what's going on, folks. Okay, I don't know what's going on. I mean, you clearly can see why, as unlikable as Kamala Harris is, at least some people thought within the Democrat circles that she'd be a better candidate than this, because the guy has rapidly deteriorating. He looks terrible. He doesn't even look real, honestly, but he looked terrible. He sounds terrible. This is like a televised address. I don't know why they didn't pre-record it, but he couldn't even speak through the address. The guy was headed towards landslide defeat against Trump. Now they have Kamala in there. They're hoping, maybe that'll change the game. We'll have to see. Okay, I would say don't stay complacent. Don't get complacent about it, because I think Kamala certainly introduces a lot of different challenges that Joe Biden did not against Trump, mainly the fact that she is alive and she is like mentally sentient, of course. But, big picture, there was the Joe Biden speech. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, or the live chat, I should say. But we got a couple super chats here, so let's read these. Toab for $2 says, left side of his face always moved like that? I don't know, chat. I don't know, okay? It looks like they put a lot of makeup on him, you could see. He has a tan or something. I don't know. I don't know what they're hiding. I think there is clearly, though, something even worse with Joe Biden's physical and mental condition than maybe we think. I was never the believer that, like, Biden was dead when he had COVID, but definitely the situation is weird. Like, I will say that. I think Biden, it seems to me, especially lately, is just going downhill so fast, right? You have the debate. People said, he was just sick. No, it's just getting worse and worse, right? It's just getting worse and worse. And really, you have to ask the question, remember when he got COVID, like a couple days before that Nevada fundraiser, a couple days before he dropped out, I should say? What was the deal there, right? Everyone shows up. Everyone's ready for the fundraiser. There's other people sitting in the chairs, and last minute, some woman comes on the stage and says, sorry guys, Biden has COVID. He can't speak to us today. What happened there? And then, of course, I read a report. I forgot. I think it was from the New York Post or someone a couple days ago that said the way they got Biden to really drop out was the Democrats were threatening to use the 25th Amendment against him. Okay. Which I think by definition is basically a coup. They couped this guy out of power. And he, the absolute cuck, the absolute pushover he is, although, again, in fairness, I think the guy's literally like being controlled by puppet strings, because he does not have the mental capacity, obviously, to be making his own decisions. The guy's just like, I guess I gotta step down, guys. They told me I can't step down. Come on, Joe! Joe! Where's your manlyhood? Okay? Where's your cojones? Stand up to them. Say, I'm not leaving, okay? But whatever. It is what it is at this point. I guess the interesting question, though, will be to see how much does Biden really end up getting behind Kamala, or is he going to basically just stay out of the election for the most part? Okay, because you even heard that speech. He did not extensively talk about Kamala Harris or the election. The main thing was like, this is why I was so proud to be your president. Here's a bunch of reasons why I actually did a good job as president. But apparently, I'm not fit to run for office. I don't know. I have no idea. Sheeny Beanie for $2 says, he lies like a rug. I guess so does Kamala. Yeah, no, they're equally as bad as each other. And hopefully the American people remember that, because... Actually, no, that's not true. Kamala Harris is more radical on the issues than Joe Biden is. Except Kamala lies on her back. Yes, that is so true. Thank you for the $2 Sheeny Beanie. Alex McLeod for $5, thank you very much, says, he looks worse than he did at the debate. Tragic. Yeah, he's not in a good condition. I never spread the theory that he was dead. Okay, I know some people were saying that. I never saw the evidence. But what I think is definitely true is his condition is a lot worse. Okay? And I don't think it was just COVID. Oh, he had COVID. First of all, a convenient excuse, all right? The COVID was this. Let me tell you what the COVID might have been, is emergency meeting at Camp David or the Biden Delaware retreat, wherever they did it. Emergency meeting, and we're going to have to have a little talk here, Mr. Biden. Okay, you got the mafia music playing in the background. If you don't leave this race, we're going to 25th Amendment you, was the official report. Or who knows? Maybe it was something, we'll say, even more extreme than that. I don't know. I really have no idea. But anyways, thank you for the $5, Alex McLeod. And in Regnum D for $2 says message retracted. Okay. Well, thank you for the $2. I appreciate it very much. But there you have the news on the Joe Biden front. Again, Donald Trump, I believe, just wrapped up his rally in North Carolina. They're kind of changing a lot of the campaign messaging. Hopefully, maybe you've seen. But I do want to briefly talk about what happened in the Capitol earlier today, because you had, obviously, Netanyahu was speaking, okay, in D.C., and this was the response of the Palestine protesters. So you see, they defaced several national monuments with, Palestine stuff. This right here says, "Heart Hamas. Hamas is coming. All Zionists are bastards. Free Gaza." Blah, 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 blah. They covered this face right here with a Palestine flag. You have the bell, obviously, completely defaced. And you probably saw this video right here where they burned an American flag. If I'm not mistaken, I believe, and by the way, I think this one might have been in San Francisco, if I'm not mistaken. But, and by the way, some people will say, oh, burning the American flag is free speech. Well, from my understanding, this was not an American flag they personally purchased. They went on top of the flagpole, tore it off the government flagpole, and then burned that flag. So that's what's going on here. As you can see, yes, see, there it is right there. They took the American flag off this flagpole, put up the Palestine one, and then lit the American flag on fire. So, I don't need to obviously disavow that for like because everyone knows, okay, obviously we can't stand this. This is evil. This is anti-American garbage. And I'm sure you've already heard people say that. But again, let it be said, this is Kamala Harris's America, right? This is what she supports. She paid for the bail of BLM rioters in 2020. All right. These are her activists. These are her supporters right here. All right. And to the extent that they're not, but they're against the Biden administration too. Okay. Well, then why is it so hard to stop them? Because this is another point that should be brought up. All right. This is not a spontaneous riot that broke out across America. It was known for weeks that Benjamin Netanyahu is going to be addressing Congress today. Okay. So what do you expect? Right? What do you expect? We already seen, right, the protests against Israel and all that stuff, but you have the leader of Israel addressing Congress, okay? Even DC Metro Police said yesterday that they were going to be, they were going to be prepared for the protests. Well, clearly not. Okay, clearly not. There's no reason this should have happened in our nation's capital, right across the street from where Biden and Harris are, other than perhaps the excuse that this is what they're enabling. This is what they're allowing. Again, we have not gotten any condemnation of these protests. So, just keep that in mind, right? Because I know there are some Republicans out there, and let me just call this out. This is so stupid. I'm so tired of hearing this talking point that Kamala Harris is a cop. Kamala Harris used to be a cop, you guys. Kamala Harris was too tough on crime. She was a racist. Republicans are the real party of letting criminals out of jail. Shut up with that crap. Shut up. It did not work in 2020. Let me just say that. Okay, it didn't work. Oh, but, you say Trump is racist, but we passed criminal justice reform. Didn't work. And now some of you people are trying to repeat the talking point again? Absolutely not. Here's the truth and here's the reality. It's the opposite, right? Trump is the law and order candidate. Trump is the president who wants these people thrown in jail for a very long time. All right. He passed remember during the BLM riots, he passed a statute saying that we're going to, throw the people who are defacing the monuments in jail for like 10 or 20 years. That's exactly what you should be doing. Okay. But let it be said, Kamala Harris is the candidate of lawlessness, of anarchy. She supports the criminals. Again, let me reiterate. She paid for the bail of the criminals. She was on camera back in 2020 saying more police on the streets do not make us safer. That's the contrast here. Okay. And at a time when, the American people, we know how dangerous things are, crime, stuff like this right here. The American people want law and order. They crave law and order. They will support the candidate of law and order. So with that said, Donald Trump needs to draw the contrast between him and Kamala. Not that Kamala is, quote unquote, too tough on crime because 10 years ago she was a very opposite politician than what she is now. No, expose her for the politician she is right now, which is the pro-BLM, the pro rioting right here, the pro-American flag burning, soft, far left candidate. And that's what she was in 2020. There's plenty of videos of her saying that. If you run on that message, Kamala's soft on crime, Kamala's responsible for the immigration crisis, that's all you need. You will win the election, okay? Trump will win the election if he is able to convince the American public of just those two things, because those are very unpopular with everyone, okay? Even some Democrats, but everyone, right? But, again, let me reiterate this. If you make the election about Kamala Harris is the real racist against black people because she was tougher on crime than Donald Trump is, have fun with her as president, okay? I want all the Republicans saying that to shut up. Imagine looking at what's going on right now when Biden and Harris are president and saying, I really think that the right message is that Kamala Harris is too tough on crime. No, the American people want you to be tough on crime, okay? So I guess don't let Tim Scott write the campaign messaging, because that's not what's going to be convincing to people, okay? So that's that right there. And then, yeah, here it is in San Francisco. I believe is in San Francisco. Yeah, Union Station. That's San Francisco, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is the DC one. But you see here, they took down the Palestine. They took down the American flag, put the Palestine one up there. And I don't see where the police are. Let's zoom out, chat. Again, this is the crime policy that Kamala Harris supports. Let that be made clear. You see this crowd right here? Any police, right? Because what did Kamala Harris say on camera? More police on the streets do not make us safer, She was pro defunding the police. She was pro all that stuff. So there you have it. That is the record of Kamala Harris. That is her legacy, and that's what we need to be talking about and running on. But I know we got some more super chats here, so let's read a couple of those. And then I didn't plan to make this stream too long, so, I might just call it a night soon. But let's go through super chat, see what the chat has to say, and see if there's any other news to talk about today. But anyways, we have, once again, he sends for $5. I know you retracted the last one, so hopefully like YouTube can refund you there or something. But it says, notice how recently he's gone with the spray tan, lol. Bro is copying Trump down to almost saying make America great again. So true. So true. All right. We're going to miss Joe Biden, though. We really will. As a candidate. Not as a president, but as a candidate. Okay. Because running against him was just so fun. It was a lot easier, I'll be honest. Kamala Harris, we have to actually try. But, it is what it is. Thank you for the $5. Abstract for $5 says his last chance to gaslight us into thinking he was a good president. It was abysmal, much like his entire career. This is so true. But you know what, Joe? Joe, gaslight yourself. It's not too late. Step back in the race. All right, you won't do it. I dare you. Step back in the race, okay? Cash in your money in the bank contract. You still technically are the Democrat nominee in terms of delegates. It's not too late, Joe. It's not too late. Let's do it. All right? Let's do it. Get back in the race. Get back in the race. Isn't it crime or no? Yeah, it's 100% crime. It is absolute. This right here is a crime. Yes. Yes. I mean, the protesting in the grass, not necessarily, but yes. Taking down the American flag from a government flagpole and putting up the Palestine flag, yes, that is indeed a crime. But, good luck doing anything about it. Because a couple things, right? First of all, because Kamala Harris is more progressive than Joe Biden, right? They've been calling him Genocide Joe, right? The Palestine people. Because Kamala Harris is more progressive, I think she is making a play to where she hopes she can genuinely win these voters, right? Because she's not Joe. They all hate Joe Biden. They're too far left for him, or they're too pro-Palestine or whatever. Because Joe Biden tries to ride the fence between being pro-Israel and pro-Palestine so that way he can keep both sides happy. Doesn't work, right? It just turns out both sides don't like him. But I think Kamala's kind of hoping she can win over some of these people. So that'll be interesting to see. So fully expect, no, she's not going to say anything about this. By the way, she's law and order. Look, she's a DA. She's a cop. All these stupid talking points because, it's the cop versus the felon. She's a brat, all this stuff. No, this is what she supports right here. Okay, let that be made clear. And even if she doesn't support it, she wants to enable it because she's hoping these people vote for her. I hope personally that come the DNC, she's going to be in for a very rude awakening, right? Because I think you're going to find out these people really can't be controlled. They might not like Kamala Harris either. And expect these types of protests, expect them, I would say, to come to Chicago during the DNC. All right, it was looking like that was going to happen back when Joe was the candidate, almost guaranteed. I still think it has a strong chance of happening. So expect that, right? And, all I have to say is, like, Democrats, I mean, these are the people you enable. These are the people that you don't want to stop, really. So, you really made your own bed with these people and that one. But anyways, it'll be interesting to see, because I wouldn't be surprised if the DNC this year is met with the type of protest that you saw in the same city, actually, in Chicago in 1968. We know the history there. You know what happened there. Wouldn't be surprised, folks. Wouldn't be surprised if a similar thing happens. And that will say a lot, really, about what the Democrat platform is. I mean, truly. Omar for $10, thank you very much, good to see you, says, Kamala is not tough on crime. She opposed the death penalty on the killing of the San Francisco PD officer Isaac Espinoza in 2004. He was a friend of my sister's, so this hit closer to home. Well, rest in peace to him, man, and may his memory live on. But yes, I mean, and this is what people need to know, okay? The problem with Kamala Harris is not that she's too tough on crime. Oh, yeah, BLM, go vote for Trump. No. She's soft on crime, objectively. She's soft on these people. As Omar brings up, I did not even know that story. I might have to research that and, find some receipts so I can post about that. But, yeah, I mean, literally a person who killed a San Francisco police officer, she opposed the death penalty for. That is Kamala Harris. That is her legacy on crime, okay? And just because, in the 2010s, she was marginally tougher on crime than maybe some other Democrats in the state of California, that does not change, I think, her true legacy on all of this, So thank you for the 10. I appreciate it. And last call here for Super Chats. This, again, just a quick stream. I wanted to react to the Joe Biden speech. But let's see. We'll go for maybe 5 or 10 more minutes, and then we'll call it a night here. Scott B for $10 says, Kamala won't get any moderate voters. She is basically a Marxist. If moderates don't vote Trump, they will vote RFK or not at all. Takes a sip of water. Thank you for the $5 there, Scott B. And I think this is pretty accurate, right? I think the gamble the Democrats are taking with Kamala Harris is essentially, even the Democrat base was not enthusiastic for Joe Biden. And you can see they're very enthusiastic for Kamala, right? So their hope is young voters, black voters, demographics like that, the liberal woman. Oh, they're all going to show up to vote for Kamala. They weren't enthusiastic for Biden, but Kamala infused some energy in them. And I think that part is true. But at the same time, the thing to keep in mind, independents can't stand her, right? Biden was more popular with independents, at least before the debate disaster, than Kamala Harris is going to be. Hispanic voters, too. Very interesting polling there. Kamala Harris is underwater with them. I think they see her as responsible for the border and with crime and stuff like that. And also, ask yourself this question, right? I think Kamala Harris, yes, will get a higher turnout in California and New York than Joe Biden was going to. But, how is Kamala Harris going to win white working class voters in the Rust Belt, right? We're talking Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. Because the truth is, the whole Scranton Joe facade, as fake, as ridiculous as it was, that was the last thing that was keeping white working class Rust Belt voters, right? We call them the middle American radicals, whatever you want to say, for, keeping them loyal to the Democrats. Because Joe Biden, as much as it was a facade, he kind of was able to play off of that old school, pro-union, working class Democrat party. Kamala Harris does not, right? Kamala Harris is going to slip underwater, I think, in the Rust Belt. I think their hope maybe is that they can choose someone like Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, for the VP, and maybe that'll help a little bit. Maybe that'll make it competitive in Pennsylvania. But if that doesn't work out, Kamala on her own has no chance in the Rust Belt. She has no chance, okay? Not saying to get complacent, but that's just the truth. She does not have a chance. So it will be interesting to see how that all plays out. But yeah, on some level, I do understand the Democrat strategy to replace, because yes, I think the Democrat base will show up to vote in higher numbers for Kamala Harris, and that is something to watch out for. But as long as the Trump campaign hammers home she is a radical, right? She does not stand for you, etc., I don't think she has any chance with moderate voters. She doesn't, you know? So that's the thing. You're going to get, it's kind of like a choose your poison thing for the Democrats. Because yes, you're going to get higher turnout from Democrats, but you're going to get a total fall off, I think, with independents. So that's sort of the situation, in my opinion. But anyways, here, folks, let's take a look here. Joe Biden dropped out so he could go to sleep at 6:30 and wake up at noon. This is so true. This is so true, folks. All right, last call for super chats. I'll probably end the stream here at like 8:40 or so. But let me see. Any news out of President Biden? Let's take a look. I think they turned off comments anyway, so yeah, comments are turned off. Come on, guys. They turn off comments on the White House. They literally, anyone remember when they removed the dislike button? Whatever reason you say, the real reason was because Joe Biden, remember like 2021, 2022, he was getting ratioed on every single video. So, you know, most popular president in American history, more popular than FDR. Why does he have to drop out then? I thought he was amazing. I thought, again, he was the most popular president in American history, better than FDR, better than Obama, right? But he only lasts one term. It just tells you a lot about these people, you know? The lies that we've been told. And I don't know if you guys have seen the newest Democrat talking point, but the newest one actually is them saying, check this out. They're now saying that Kamala Harris was never in charge of the border. Okay? That's what they're saying now. That's what they're unironically saying. Because, and by the way, the timeline there is hilarious. Because, you know, first of all, okay, the first thing we were told is that the border crisis is manufactured by the Republicans, right? It's not real. It's not really that bad. No problems. And then they said, no, the border crisis is real, but it's the Republicans' fault. And now their whole talking point is to say, no, Kamala is not even in charge of the border. So let's play a little fact check here, okay? That, yes, Kamala Harris was appointed the border czar. You're not misremembering there. You know, this is not a Mandela effect. That has always been true. Let me see if I can find it. I mean, everyone knows, but let me see if I can find the receipts here. I believe N Wokeness retweeted it. Let's see if I can find it. It's over. It's over, chat. All right, I'll find it in a second. But anyways, so that's a new line they're running with. Okay, is Kamala Harris has never been border czar, and then at the same time, check this out right here. They're removing, okay, Axios and I think another think tank here. Yeah, GovTrack. GovTrack just deleted their 2019 page that was ranking Kamala Harris as the most liberal of all 100 senators, okay? Because I think the strategy this time around is they're going to say, Kamala Harris is a moderate. Kamala's not a crazy far left progressive Democrat, because that's what, you know, Trump is going to attack her with. Check this out. They deleted it, right? She used to be ranked most liberal compared to all senators. That includes Bernie Sanders. She was more liberal in her record than Bernie Sanders. And they took her off the list. Okay, they took off her rating. So, you know, that's the type of covering up, the type of astroturfing they're trying to do here in favor of Kamala. Let's make sure it doesn't work. Okay, she is a fake candidate. She's completely astroturfed. She would never win a Democrat primary, and no amount of rewriting history will change the fact everyone remembers she was the most liberal of the 100 senators. She was in charge of the border. She said very radical things about the police, about American energy. She supported the Green New Deal. She supported AOC. She supports packing the Supreme Court, etc., etc. So there you have it, folks. All right. I'm probably going to wrap up the stream here if we do not have any other super chats, but last call. Feel free to do so. Let's get the stream to 200 likes before we go. And Omar for $2 says, I posted the link to an article on Discord. All right, thank you for the 2. I will take a look, and I might have to tweet about that at some point, because that's a very interesting story. I don't know if anyone's even talking about that. So, might as well bring that one up for sure. And Omar, you get the credit, okay? You will be the one that will break that news to the conservative media world for sure. Thomas says the Harris Buttigieg ticket would be the clown world ticket. Let me say that, okay? I really hope that she chooses Pete Buttigieg as the VP, because that's someone who's being talked about right now. And I saw some Republicans who were scared of Pete Buttigieg. They were like, no, he's kind of electable. That's kind of scary. No, I don't want him. No, I want him. You know why? Because that will fully make it the biggest diversity ticket ever, right? I think the biggest threat to us is if Kamala chooses a normal straight white guy, right? Because if you choose Pete Buttigieg, even if Pete is well-spoken kind of or whatever, first of all, Pete is responsible for the East Palestine, Ohio debacle, which again, the Rust Belt, that's not good news, okay, objectively for Kamala at all. But then on top of that, the real thing is this, is I think en masse, most Americans are tired of DEI. They're tired of the diversity stuff. So what does it say? That not only do you have a DEI presidential candidate, I should say, but even the VP is a DEI choice because, he's gay or whatever. I'm just telling you right now, that is not a ticket you should fear. The American people will look at that and say, screw that, okay? We got a normal ticket with 2 normal people versus the DEI ticket. One of them was not even elected. The other one is like pandering about how he's gay or whatever. That's not going to work in the election. It's not, okay? America does not want to deal with that crap. It's just a simple reality. So, all right, folks, with that said, thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight. Feel free to leave a like before you go, and I'll probably cut it off here. So, yeah, there was Joe Biden's address. Very incoherent, to say the least. And we also talked about some news on the Kamala Harris front. All right, see you guys later. God bless, peace, have a good night, and thanks for tuning in.